This LOS is explain how risk tolerance affects risk management. So this LOS is regarding risk tolerance, which falls here underneath the board. So as we can see from this graphic, this framework, the board is responsible for the goals of an organization, where management is responsible for the strategies. Also, the board is responsible for risk tolerance, which is identifying the extent to which the entity is willing to experience losses. Okay? After the risk tolerance, the board is responsible for the risk budgeting, but it's management that allocates resources to risky activities and then manages those risk exposures. Okay? So on the right-hand side here, we saw from a previous LOS about the risk management framework, and this is just a nice review with regards to a framework. So number one, we establish risk management infrastructure. 2 is identify risks. 3 is measure the risks. 4, monitor risks. 5, report communications. And then finally, some strategic analysis. So again, this LOS is explain how risk tolerance affects risk management. So you can see I cut the piece from the graphic on the previous slide just to show you risk tolerance again, following under the preview of the board. So perhaps the most important element of good risk governance is the risk tolerance discussion and decision within the governing body. Business and investment strategy centers on selecting a portfolio of acceptable risk activities that will maximize value and produce the highest returns possible for the given risk level. At the governance level, the duty is generally not to select these activities, a job that usually falls to management, as we saw in the graphic, but to establish the organization's risk appetite. Certain risks or levels of risks may be deemed acceptable, and other risks deemed unacceptable. And in the middle are risks that may be pursued in a risk-limited fashion. Said differently, risk tolerance identifies the extent to which the entity is willing to experience losses or opportunity costs and to fail in meeting its objectives. So that's the last slide for this LOS. Thank you.